Hey, what is going on, guys? In this video today, we're going to be going over one of the biggest issues when it comes to aiming on controller Fortnite. I actually want to start this video off on a positive note by giving Epic props for all the things they've done for controller players over the past few months. If you think back to only 5 or 6 months ago, controller players didn't have an option for a separate building sensitivity, you didn't have the ability to set custom binds, you couldn't turn off motion blur, there wasn't a separate editing sensitivity, and a bunch of other stuff as well. So in terms of customization of controller settings, Epic has done a pretty incredible job of putting controller versus mouse and keyboard on as level of a playing field as possible. It'll never truly be even just due to the fact that keyboard keys give so much more customization than controller buttons, as well as the fact that using your entire hand to aim with a mouse is a lot easier than using your finger to aim with a thumbstick. But despite all the good that Epic has done recently, I still think there's a major issue regarding aim on controller that requires their attention. What I'm referring to here is something called Exponential Stick Acceleration, which is defaultly enabled on controller Fortnite, and at least to my knowledge, this setting can't be disabled or changed in any way. It's crazy how many people have no idea what this is, or even that it exists in the first place, since it plays such a major part in aiming with a controller in Fortnite. So why is an exponential stick acceleration a bad thing, and what impact does it have on your aim if you play Fortnite with a controller? Well, that's what we're here to investigate. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So to first understand why Fortnite's stick acceleration for aim on controller is a problem, you need to understand what aim acceleration actually is. It can definitely get a bit confusing when you go in depth with it, so we're gonna stick to the basics because that's really all you need to know. Aim acceleration is basically used as a way to limit abrupt increases and twitches in your rotation speed while aiming. It does this by slowly ramping up the speed at which your crosshair moves over time. If you're confused by that, don't worry, because I have 2 quick comparisons that should make you understand it a little better. The first one is to basically think about the way a car accelerates. If you're in a car that isn't moving and you press down on the pedal as hard as you can, you're not instantly going to be going 125 miles per hour. It's going to take a little while to accelerate and eventually get to that max speed. If you're looking for a video game example, the sprint feature in Fortnite actually uses an acceleration mechanic as well. When you press down on your thumbstick to sprint, it takes a solid second or so for you to actually reach the max sprint speed of the game. In other video games like Call of Duty, for example, the second your character starts sprinting, they're instantly at max speed. So now that you guys hopefully have a basic understanding of what aim acceleration is, and don't worry if you don't because there will be some video showcases of it a little later, let's talk about it in the context of Fortnite. Some of you skeptics out there may be wondering, well, does Fortnite even have aim acceleration? And the answer to that question is yes. We know it's yes because even though Epic hasn't directly said it, they've previously made tweaks to the aim acceleration in their game. Back in Season 5, Update 5.30 contained the following change in the patch notes. Tune controller input and accelerations to allow for more fine-tuning when aiming. I know it was a solid 6 or 7 months ago, but you guys may actually remember this change because it was super controversial due to the fact that it made aim on controller feel so dramatically different. So much so that a few days later, due to all the feedback, Epic was forced into reverting that change. That should serve as a solid example for just how impactful little tweaks to controller aim acceleration can actually be. I want to make it clear at this point in the video that aim acceleration itself isn't necessarily the problem here. It's basically a feature that games implement to make it easier for new players who have never really played shooter games before. Without aim acceleration, it would be really hard for them to initially adjust to aiming and rapidly changing directions. The real problem with it is when games don't give you the option to customize your aim acceleration. Fortnite doesn't, but plenty of other shooter games out there do. Just to name a few, Apex Legends, PUBG, Overwatch, and the new Halo games. Just to use Apex Legends as an example, take a look at this image from the game's in-game options. As you guys can see, it allows you to customize your aim acceleration by changing the response curve setting in-game. What's interesting here is that by default, the response curve for stick acceleration is exponential, which is actually the same way it is in Fortnite. What this basically means is that your aim accelerates pretty slowly at first and then speeds up very quickly towards the end. Just look at the graph here. If you move your stick about halfway in any direction, your aim will only be moving at about maybe 20% of the max speed. Compare that to when you set the response curve value all the way down to 0, and now you have a perfectly linear stick acceleration. If you move your stick 50% of the way in any direction, your aim will move at 50% of the max speed. I want to show you guys two quick clips that showcases aim acceleration in Fortnite versus aim acceleration in the game Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, a fan favorite. What I did in both of these clips was started off by holding my thumbstick about 50% of the way to the right, and then after a few seconds held it all the way to the right. In the MW2 clip, which is a game with fairly minimal aim acceleration, you can see that at 50% stick movement, it's definitely a solid speed, but you still get a nice little jump to max speed when the stick is moved and held all the way to the right. In Fortnite though, look at how slow the crosshair moves at 50% of stick movement, and then you get a wild jump up to max speed when it's held all the way to the right. I'll admit that what you just saw there definitely wasn't a perfect science, but I think it shows just how apparent stick aim acceleration is in Fortnite. So what exactly are the negative effects of the exponential stick acceleration in Fortnite? The biggest problem it presents is that it really limits the ability of controller players to hit flick shots, and it makes consistently hitting them almost impossible. When your crosshair starts off moving very slowly and then starts to speed up exponentially as you continue to move, it makes quick flicks feel very random in a way. That's why I would recommend trying to avoid attempting flick shots if you play with a controller. It's also worth noting that this is another major advantage that mouse and keyboard has over controller. Mouse acceleration, which is basically the PC equivalent to stick acceleration, is off by default in Fortnite and the majority of other shooter games out there as well. That's due to the fact that PC gamers pretty much unanimously hate any kind of aim acceleration and think it has no place in gaming. It's probably the biggest reason why even just average mouse players can probably hit flick shots better than a lot of the best controller players. And the top tier PC guys can consistently hit flicks that even the best controller guys can only dream of. Exponential aim acceleration also makes it harder to build muscle memory while aiming, especially if you play multiple shooter games. Pretty much every shooter game out there has a different type and strength of stick aim acceleration. For example, in most Call of Duty games, it takes 0.2 seconds to reach max speed after moving your stick all the way in one direction. In most Halo games, that same number is slightly over 1 second flat, so literally 5 times longer than Call of Duty. And the Battlefield series has multiple games with no aim acceleration whatsoever. It's a big reason why if you play other games before playing Fortnite, you almost feel like you need to warm back up to Fortnite aim specifically. One thing I want to clarify, because I have a feeling some people are going to comment about it, is the dead zone setting in Fortnite. Although it may seem correlated, changing your dead zone has almost no impact whatsoever on aim acceleration. What the dead zone setting in Fortnite does is it changes how much you need to move your thumbstick for the game to start moving your crosshair. But once your crosshair started moving, the aim acceleration is still going to be exactly the same. So a player that plays on a .05 dead zone is still going to get the exact same aim acceleration as a player who plays on a .95 dead zone. So what's the solution here? Although there are people out there that believe any aim acceleration is a bad thing, I have no problem with Fortnite using that mechanic. Without it, new players would likely be totally lost when it comes to aiming if they're new to shooter video games. However, we need to be able to tweak and customize our own personal aim acceleration. Like I mentioned earlier, this is already a feature in a ton of games similar to Fortnite. And honestly, I think Fortnite needs it more than the majority of games that already have it. A lot of close-range fights, which are basically the bread and butter of Fortnite, are all about quick flicks and twitchy movement, which can be really difficult to do with the way stick aim acceleration currently is. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you watched the entire thing, be sure to let me know with a comment down in the comment section below. I want to know, before watching this video, did you guys know what aim acceleration was, and did you know it was in Fortnite? Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do whatever the heck you want, and I will catch you guys next time.